Conjoint versus standard robbery in Oklahoma. What's the difference? In Oklahoma, conjoint versus standard robbery charges can change the way the case is fought. Being charged with robbery is a serious matter in Oklahoma. A robbery conviction can result in significant prison time, substantial fines, and a permanent criminal record. However, not all robbery charges are the same. Depending on the circumstances, prosecutors have an option to charge the crime as conjoint versus standard robbery, and the difference can dramatically affect the potential penalties. Understanding these distinctions is essential if you or a loved one is facing robbery-related charges. What is robbery? Under Oklahoma law, robbery occurs when someone takes property from another person through the use of force or fear. Unlike theft, robbery involves direct interaction with the victim and requires some level of coercion. For example, if a person threatens someone and takes their wallet, prosecutors may pursue robbery charges rather than simple theft charges because force or intimidation was involved. What is standard robbery? Standard robbery generally refers to a robbery committed by a single individual. The prosecution must prove that the defendant took property belonging to another person, took the property from the victim's possession or immediate presence, used force, violence, or fear to accomplish the taking, and intended to permanently deprive the victim of the property. The severity of the charge can vary depending on the facts of the case, including whether weapons were involved or whether anyone was injured during the incident. What is conjoint robbery? Conjoint robbery occurs when two or more people act together to commit a robbery. The key distinction is that multiple participants are involved in carrying out the offense. In Oklahoma, conjoint robbery is treated more severely than a robbery committed by a single individual because lawmakers view coordinated criminal activity as presenting a greater danger to victims and the public. A person can be charged with conjoint robbery even if they did not personally take the property. If prosecutors can show that the individual knowingly participated in the robbery alongside one or more accomplices, they may face the same charge as the person who actually took the property. For example, one person threatens the victim, a second person takes the victim's property, both individuals flee together. In this scenario, both participants may be charged with conjoint robbery. Why is conjoint robbery more serious? Oklahoma law imposes harsher penalties for robberies committed by multiple offenders because group criminal conduct often increases the risk of violence, intimidation, and physical harm. Victims confronted by multiple individuals may feel less able to resist and more vulnerable to injury. As a result, prosecutors and courts generally treat conjoint robbery as a particularly serious felony offense. Potential penalties. The penalties for robbery-related offenses can vary depending on the specific facts, the defendant's criminal history, and whether weapons were involved. Conjoint robbery often carries significantly greater sentencing exposure than many other robbery-related offenses. Because the stakes are so high, anyone accused of participating in a robbery involving multiple people should seek legal representation as early as possible. Common defenses to conjoint robbery charges. Every case is unique, but several defenses may apply in a conjoint robbery prosecution, including lack of participation. Merely being present at the scene of a crime does not automatically make someone guilty of conjoint robbery. Prosecutors must prove active participation or assistance in the offense. Mistaken identity. Robbery cases frequently rely on eyewitness testimony, surveillance footage, or other identification evidence. In some situations, the wrong person may be identified as a participant. Lack of intent. The prosecution must establish that the defendant knowingly participated in the robbery. If an individual was unaware of the criminal plan or did not intend to assist in the offense, that may provide a defense. Insufficient evidence. The government bears the burden of proving guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. Weak witness testimony, inconsistent statements, or inadequate evidence can create significant challenges for the prosecution. What should you do if you are charged? Robbery and conjoint robbery charges should never be taken lightly. Statements made to law enforcement, social media activity, and conversations with others can all affect the outcome of a case. If you have been arrested or are under investigation for robbery, It is important to speak with an experienced criminal defense attorney as soon as possible. Early intervention may help protect your rights, preserve favorable evidence, and identify potential defenses. Contact our conjoint robbery attorney. As you can see, being charged with conjoint versus standard robbery makes a big difference. If you or a loved one is facing robbery or conjoint robbery charges in Oklahoma, the criminal defense team at Kania Law can help. We understand the serious consequences these allegations carry and work aggressively to protect our clients' rights at every stage of the criminal process. For a free consultation with an Oklahoma criminal defense attorney at Kania Law Office, call 918-743-2233.